But let's talk about Daquan Hardy because he's starting senior nickelback, number 25. He's kind of flying under the radar. Like, I feel like nobody's talking about Daquan Hardy, but yet, he's had some good stats last year. Key pass breakup against Purdue late in the fourth quarter to force a punt and set up Penn State's eventual game-winning drive. 3 solo stops against Auburn. 2 solo tackles and a forced fumble against Michigan. First INT against Indiana. And he's just a very underrated defensive player on the team. Everyone's talking about the other 2 corners, but Hardy always finds the ball. He's not afraid to make big plays. Can he make the big jump in production? That's the big question around Hardy for this season. How's he been looking in fall camp?
Well, he's looking like he's not afraid.
Yes.
And I think for a cornerback, that can be a good thing and that can be a bad thing. Joey Porter played like he had no fear to him, right?
Yep.
He had a very lengthy, while he wasn't the biggest cornerback, and people are talking about that in the NFL, it's a very lengthy corner. And naturally, that just works for corners to win against those one-on-one battles. And then the confidence part. Those are the 2 biggest factors, I think, that make a great corner.
Yep.
And when you look at Hardy, throughout camp so far, when I was over on the defensive side, he was looking like he was playing lengthy in a way, according to his size and his speeds and parameters. But the confidence from this kid has been incredible right now. And it's definitely something that this defensive back crew is going to need to look for, because last year, a lot of people were questioning Johnny Dixon, right? And
yes. I was one of those skeptics.
Oh my gosh, I can't even tell you the amount of times I've heard people call him burnt toast. Every single time. And I kind of felt bad in a way, because Joey Porter always played to his comfortable sides, right? And took on a wide receiver, leaving Johnny Dixon with the number 2 most of the times.
Well, most of the time last season, Dixon was Porter's backup.
Exactly.
At that position. And so for me, sitting in the crowd, every time Dixon made a mistake, and he did make some mistakes last year, it was like, why isn't JPJ on the field?
Yeah.
That was my argument. And that really kind of sucked, because then coming into the season, Storm Duck came in. We had that whole situation, and Dixon just won out that role in the spring. Looked fantastic in the spring game. It was like, okay, he took that jump. He looks far more comfortable now.
And that's what Franklin said. Franklin has said that the biggest person to come out of that group right now has been Johnny Dixon. He's taken a massive leap, not only in his game, but in what he's been able to do in the film room and as a leader throughout it. And, you talk about why Hardy's been able to fly under the radar so much is because of that. Dixon's been talked about a lot by Franklin. And, Kalen King, every time that you just look at your screen, feels like he's getting some preseason, best player award or something like that. The amount of awards I get from him, and I try to repost and tweet about or write about, I can't keep up sometimes. It's crazy. So, but no, this secondary, it's scary. It's probably one of definitely Penn State's greatest strengths on the field.
Yep.